On to Nigeria now. The central bank is set to replace the external members of its Monetary Policy Committee, who, according to reporting by Bloomberg, tell us that they've been sidelined ahead of a meeting in February. Now, this, remember, is coming amid an ongoing shake-up of this institution. 4 of the 5 external members of the 12-member MPC say they haven't been paid since last year, August, and they haven't heard from the central bank since last September. In the meantime, economists expect the central bank to raise rates sharply in what will be the first gathering of the Monetary Policy Committee in Africa's largest economy since July. Inflation has subsequently surged. It's near a 3-decade high of 28.9% in December. Let's bring in Deji Bosi, is joining us now live from Lagos with more data on the story. So, Deji, working off this report from Bloomberg, isn't there a risk here that if we have this Monetary Policy Committee meeting that goes ahead in February, the credibility of the decision that they make might essentially be in question if these 4 independent members of the MPC are essentially left out?
Well, Rama, some people say so, but, that is still debatable, to be candid, because you look at the composition of the Monetary Policy Committee now. We're talking about 12 members. You have the CBN governor there. You have the 4 deputy governors, and then you have 2 directors of the bank. So, and to actually form a quorum, you need 6. So, but then you would have 7. So the independent policymakers are just 5 in number, so it's highly debatable to say that whatever decision, if the CBN does not, if the 5 members now are not appointed before the next Monetary Policy Committee meeting, that whatever decision they take would be controversial, so to speak. Well, as I said, it's debatable. It depends on where you're looking at it from, and it depends on the influence of these 5 members. When you also consider the fact that these 5 external members are usually appointed by the president and the CBN governors, you would understand, for instance, why the CBN wants to make that change, because this is a new CBN management that says, look, it wants to make a complete departure from the past. So it definitely would want new hands on the board. New faces now on the board. So it's understandable. So there's every possibility we might have those appointments now made before the next Monetary Policy Committee meeting. But if that does not happen, that Monetary Policy Committee meeting can still hold because, of course, they would have formed a quorum. Now, but it's neither here nor there to say that whatever decision is arrived at without these 5 members now would be subject to controversy. I personally do not think so, because after all, they are appointees of the CBN governor and the president anyway. So it's understandable that the CBN wants to make that change, but we just have to wait and see. Everyone believes, just as you have said, that we're likely to see, a hike in the lending rate. That's the major decision. So everybody expects that to happen. But we have to wait and see. We still have about a month before that meeting. So that appointment might be made before then. But let's just wait and see what happens, Rama. Indeed.
And of course, there's a gap of about 1,000 basis points between where inflation is at 20.9 in December and where the policy rate was left at 18.75% right at the end of July. Finally, Deji, just before the Christmas holidays, you and I spoke about the growing cash shortage in the country. 4 weeks later, what's the situation like? Are those limits that we spoke of on cash withdrawals at ATMs and over the counter, are those limits still in place? Is cash still a very scarce commodity?
Well, there's a gradual improvement now, Rama. Gradually, cash is becoming available. Of course, you still have those limits in place, especially for the ATM machines. There's still a limit to how much you can withdraw, which, of course, in most ATMs is 20,000 naira. You can go beyond that. But over-the-counter withdrawal now, I think there's been some improvement. I visited the bank 2 days ago, and I was able to make withdrawals beyond the limit that was initially imposed. So we're beginning to see a gradual improvement. Besides that, POS charges are now coming down. I mean, before there was an increment now in the charge by about 100, in some places 200%. So there is a gradual improvement, no question at all. But then the scarcity is still there. I mean, cash is still not freely available as it used to be. Some ATM machines are still not dispensing. And so the problem is still there, but gradually things are improving. Rama?
Indeed, let's hope that trend does keep going on in the course of 2024. Deji Bosi joining us there live from Lagos.